Hello my beautiful book besties, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you're here for another fall video because today we're going to be talking all about my autumnal reading plans and I could not be more excited. Today's video is fueled by Alani New Witch's Brew. If you know, you know. And Alani, if you're watching this, I will gladly be sponsored by you if you can supply me with all of the caramel apple energy drinks of my dreams. It's gonna be fueling all of my editing and all of my filming all fall long. Anyways, welcome to my fall TBR of 2025. This is my most anticipated, most exciting video. I look forward to filming literally all year long. In past years, I've definitely dabbled a lot in the horror genre, and this year I'm not so much going for spooky, but cozy vibes. And if you've been around here long enough, you know that I am all about the cozy vibes. I feel like I am known as like a cozy YouTuber or a booktuber at this point, which I love. So we're going full out cozy fall fantasy, cozy small town romance, cozy witchy vibes, all of those vibes you're gonna see here. If you're not here for that, totally understand, but if you love cozy and you love fantasy, this is definitely going to be a TBR that I hope you find some great recommendations from. So I actually based a lot of my fall TBR this year off of my physical books that I already own. Yes, we are going to talk about 5 or 6 new releases that I'm very excited to get to. I think I have like 25 books to share with you guys, which also leads me to tell you or give you a little bit of a sneak peek of what's to come. I have created a fall TBR jar, and here there are not only all of these titles, but also some other titles that I'm very excited to read. So a lot of my vlogs and things are going to be based around this TBR jar this year, and I'm very excited. These are all books that I'm so stoked to get to, so excited to start talking to you about them, but I'm literally so excited to share with you my fall TBR. So let's just go ahead, quit the rambling, get yourself a cozy drink, cozy blanket, settle in, and let's just go ahead and dive into the fantasy books I want to read. So I thought we'd go ahead and start with the books that have yet to be released by some of my all-time favorite authors that I had to include in this video, starting us off with Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. Does this book actually need an introduction? No, absolutely not. This book does take place in the Ruthless Vows Divine Rivals world. I do know there's going to be some name drops from Divine Rivals in this book potentially, or at least that's what I've heard. But no, you do not have to read those books before you read this one, although it is highly suggested, and Divine Rivals is one of my absolute favorite duology books or series of all time. Rebecca Ross literally is one of my favorite people, one of my favorite authors in the entire world, so this is obviously going to be one of the #1 books I get to. This is another young adult book, and can I just say, if this is anything close to the letters that Iris and Roman wrote each other, it's an automatic 5 stars, no doubt about it. Don't even know what this book is really about. I'm going into it kind of blind, but whatever it is, I know I'm going to be absolutely obsessed. We also have coming A Land So Wide by Erin A. Craig, and if anyone is going to fill that spooky void in me this fall, it's going to be Erin A. Craig. She is one of my favorite authors to read around this time of year because she includes some pretty spooky, scary, like fantastical elements in a lot of her stories, and that's what I love about her. This book is already kind of giving me the Village vibes. I think it's set in Washington, and there's some type of like village that's surrounded by monsters. We're following our main girl who's like a map maker or something like that. This book is apparently like a cross between a dark fairy tale and a romantasy. It's set in like rural Canada. I can't get like a full-on like vibe or feeling just from the synopsis, which is also very intriguing to me. So I'm definitely going into this one knowing barely anything, but I know Erin A. Craig's writing and atmosphere is just absolutely 100 out of 10. This one I know is not going to disappoint. I know a lot of us are looking forward to this one, especially this time of year. I'm very much looking forward to picking this up the day it comes out. Next, I also am looking so forward to the spooky vibes of Stephanie Garber's new book called Alchemy of Secrets. So this book starts out in a movie theater with a class, a professor who's teaching this class on different folks and legends and myths. Apparently, our main character tracks down a local legend named the Watchman, and he supposedly is able to tell her the day she's going to die, and she can change that if she finds this alchemical heart. It's a lot of different things happening in this story. I don't know where Stephanie Garber's going to take it. Her other books have been pretty dark, so I'm interested to see, because this is an adult book, how far she's really going to take it. This just sounds like such a unique, maybe even like time travel type of book. This cover's definitely giving off like historical vibes. Definitely more urban fantasy, but I know that if I wait to read this one, I'm definitely gonna have FOMO, so I'm gonna have to read this as soon as it comes out. I've only read the Caraval series and I really enjoyed it. The next book or new release that I'm definitely gonna be reading is Alexi Harrow's new book called The Everlasting. This book is 100% giving fall vibes already. It says, as a reluctant lady knight and a not so heroic historian will fight through time and space to rewrite their tragic fates and finally reveal the truths hidden beneath the greatest legend ever told. We don't really have a lot of information, but I love that she's going to keep us guessing with this one, especially for Alexi Harrow. Alexi Harrow is one of those authors that has such a weird, interesting, unique mix-up of multiple different genres, and I feel like you either love that or you hate it. But for me, I find it so entertaining. This cover is already selling me. I know it's going to have like teal sprayed edges too. This book is just absolutely beautiful, and I love Alexi Harrow, so definitely planning to read this one. Okay, next is a fantasy book that I just recently found out about, but it was published 4 years ago, and it's actually by Sarah Beth Durst. That, yes, she wrote The Spell Shop, but this book is called The Bone Maker, which looks and sounds perfect for the fall season. 5 years ago, 5 heroes risked their lives to defeat the Bone Maker Elklor, a corrupt magician who created an inhuman army using animal bones. But victory came at a tragic price. Only 4 of the heroes survived. That first sentence right there, an army with animal bones, instantly sold. I have not read anything by this author yet, you guys, but this might actually be the first one I read from her. Definitely lots of great vibes. So if you love this author and you didn't know about this book, this one sounds like it's going to be great for fall. Okay, we're going to start us off with my actual physical TBR that I have now, which is Wisteria. Yes, I've read the other 2 books, but it's been a hot minute and I need to complete this series. I just absolutely love this series and Adeline Grace's writing. It is so spooky. This series is absolutely perfect for fall. If you've been waiting on reading Belladonna for whatever reason, please don't wait any longer. There's mystery, there's spooky vibes, there's romance. There's so many amazing elements to this series that I'm absolutely in love with. I'm obsessed, and I do not know what's taking me so long to finish this series. I've seen people cry and get emotional at the end, so I'm very curious about that, but this book is like one of the first books that I absolutely need to read this season. Next, another book that I absolutely have to read is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I meant to read this before Night and the Moth came out. Read Night and the Moth. I'm not gonna lie, I was very skeptical and uncertain in the beginning because it's very dark. It's very spooky, and I've heard this book is those same vibes. I just love a good gothic romantasy, and I know that if I can finally get into this duology, it's gonna be one of my favorites that I've read all year. I've been waiting to pick this up when the weather finally gets cold because that just feels right. I also have Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. The second book is also out at this point, which is a plus for me. I know that this book kind of gives off similar Caraval vibes because I think our main character enters like this competition to save her sister, and I believe she goes to hell to do it. So I know there's a bunch of like spooky scary creatures, but you give me a competition and a sister dynamic and I'm 1000% sold. So I'm very interested to see if I'm going to end up liking this one. I'm definitely a little bit skeptical because it does sound kind of dark, but I have a lot of people tell me I would actually enjoy this because I love a good gothic vibe. Another author that I absolutely love is Olivia Atwater. This book just looks perfect for fall. This looks gothic, it looks spooky. I know that Olivia Atwater writes more cozy fantasy that feels a little bit more like middle grade. It's a little bit more whimsical, but honestly I personally enjoy that. The fairies of Witchwood Manor have stolen its young lord. His governess intends to steal him back. Victorian governess Winifred Hall knows a con when she sees one. When her bratty young charge transforms overnight into a perfectly behaved block of wood, she soon realizes that the real boy has been abducted by the fair folk, which leaves Winnie in the unenviable position of rescuing the young lord-to-be all by herself. Obviously, we have some like gothic Victorian era vibes and dark fairies. Even on the back, we have some type of like animal skeleton. I love the cover of this, I love the sound of it, and I love her writing, so I think this is going to be a really good one. Ever since reading A Theory of Dreaming, I've really wanted to reread Study in Drowning, but I've also been on the hunt for the perfect fall like academic or dark academia book, and this book my husband actually pulled for me for a TBR video. I never read it. It is a big book, but Julia Whalen, I'm pretty sure, narrates this, which kind of changed the whole trajectory for me and made me want to bump it up even higher on my TBR. That is The Black Witch by Lori Forrest. I've heard amazing things about this series. Ellerin Gardner is the spitting image of her grandmother who drove back the enemy forces in the last Realm War, but while her people believe she will follow in her grandmother's footsteps and become the next Black Witch of prophecy, Ellerin is devoid of power in a society that prizes magical ability above all else. When she's granted the opportunity to pursue her dream of becoming an apothecary, Ellerin joins her brothers at Verpax University, but she soon realizes that the university may be the most treacherous place of all for the granddaughter of the Black Witch. Everything about this, so many buzzwords. I personally really think that this could be like one of my favorite books of all time, and it's just been sitting on my shelf collecting dust. This book I did have in the fantasy pile, but I don't actually think it's fantasy, but it is more of like a mystery. I don't know if it's gonna be a spooky mystery. It's giving off like historical Jack the Ripper kind of vibes, which I loved, and that is The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter. I have heard really great things about this. One of my best friends is always telling me I will absolutely love this book and this series. Again, just looks perfect for fall. Mary Jekyll, alone and penniless following her parents' death, quickly finds herself drawn into the secrets of her father's mysterious past. A clue leads her to believe that Edward Hyde, her father's former friend and a murderer, may be nearby, and there's still a reward for information resulting in his capture, a reward that would solve all of her immediate financial woes. Apparently, Mary continues her search for the elusive Hyde and soon gathers around her more women, all of whom have been created through terrifying experimentation. We have Justine Frankenstein, Catherine Moreau, Frankenstein, a mystery, Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah, I have not read the synopsis of this in a hot second, and I'm sure glad I did, because now I remember why I put this on my fall TBR. Before we end on a happy romance note, I thought I would share with you guys a couple mystery spooky thrillers that I'm going to be reading. Honestly, most of this fall TBR is a little bit more fantasy heavy, which is totally okay with me, but I was like, I really need a couple like short, quick mystery thrillers or something to kind of break up all these chunkier fantasy books. But I do have one cute little quick middle grade that I really want to get into. I actually almost read this last year, and I have a video idea for it this year. It is Ravenfall by Kaylin Josephson. Settle in with a full mug of hot cider and a cozy blanket. You won't want to put Ravenfall down. 13-year-old Anna has never been normal. Her family uses their psychic abilities to help run the Ravenfall Inn, a magical B&B between the human world and the other world, but it's hard to contribute when your only power is foreseeing death. Apparently there's a supernatural creature that is straight out of Celtic mythology. There's some eerie family secrets. I don't have many middle grade on my TBR at all these days, but for whatever reason, I mean, that blurb about you won't want to put it down, settle in with a cozy mug of cider, I mean, just that alone makes me want to read this immediately. Next is an author that I know I'm going to end up continuing her backlist this year. She has so many books, and I've honestly given 4 or 5 stars to every single book that I've read from her. That is Darcy Coates. The Haunting of Lee Harker is one that you guys have actually told me multiple times that I would absolutely love. In typical Darcy Coates fashion, this does take place at kind of like a haunted house. We're following our main character who refuses to leave her house for whatever reason. Even though there's all these crazy spooky things happening, there's a dark like shadow looming in the corner of her room. She just cannot leave this house. So her house apparently has all these crazy dark secrets, and I love that Darcy Coates includes a mystery in all of her books. They're not just like slasher books or gore or spooky for spooky sake. She actually makes her stories believable. But for whatever reason, Darcy Coates has kind of become like a fall dark cozy comfort author for me. Speaking of haunted houses, we have The Twisted Ones by T. Kingfisher. I love T. Kingfisher. I have loved everything that she's written that I have read. Her stories are just dark but super unique, and they're usually some type of like fairy tale retelling. This one is definitely more of a folklore horror. Apparently, we're following a girl named Mouse. Her dad asks her to clean out her dead grandmother's house. She says yes. After all, how bad could it be? Answer: it's pretty bad. Grandma is a hoarder. Her house is packed to the gills with useless garbage. Mouse stumbles across her stepfather's journal, which at first seems to be the ravings of a broken mind, until she encounters some of the terrifying things he described herself. I already love T. Kingfisher Fisher's writing and the fact that we have like another haunted house is the perfect mix or the perfect trope and buzzwords for me. So we're just gonna add this one to the forever long fall TBR. We also have another backlisted thriller that I have not read yet. We have The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. Don't know much about this one. It just says something hasn't been right at the roadside Sundown Motel for a very long time, and Carly Kirk is about to find out why. We have like a 1980s timeline and then a 2017 timeline, which is honestly one of my favorite things that Simone does. You can kind of see some comparisons or overlaps with the characters or some things that they're experiencing. She just has a very unique way of setting up a mystery thriller, and I love that. And this is one of the very few books that I still have yet to read from her. The last spooky book that I have recently seen circulating around booktube is called Strange Houses. This book sounds incredibly interesting. I believe it was actually translated from Japanese, but we are following this guy who's a writer who ends up purchasing this house, but when he sees the floor plan of this house, he notices there's like dead space, and I guess he is trying to figure out how to get there, what the point of it is. I'm a little bit spooked out, but I'm very intrigued enough to want to pick this book up. But I have loved a lot of the Japanese translated books that I have read in the past. I haven't necessarily read a spooky one yet, so we're gonna see how that goes with this book. Next, I want to talk about a few cozy fall romances. I typically don't lean towards romance as much during the fall season, but there is a couple that I do really want to read this fall season. One of them being Hopelessly Devoted, that comes out in September. It looks like September 16th. So thank you to the publisher for sending this my way, but it is at a cute tea shop. It's a small town romance. I've heard it's even a second chance romance that explores grief. I'm very sold just from this cover. I mean, there's a cat, there's even like a little spider web down here, and it looks like there could be some type of magical vibes to this. Apparently there's these little spirits all over town that are like putting out a sinister threat. The place looks like it's called Hollow Cross, which is so cute. This is just giving all of the warm, fun, fuzzy, like fall feelings that I want in a romance. So I have very high hopes for this one. Another book that was definitely making its way around last year was Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. I believe the second book also comes out this fall, so perfect timing for me to finally read this first one. It's a spellbinding, warm, and cozy debut about a burned out witch who will need to turn to her friends and trust herself to find the magic in her own life again. Oh my gosh, her name's Belladonna. That's so cute. For some reason I thought she owned a bookshop. I've been following the author even since before she announced this. I'm very eager to finally get to this one, and who doesn't love a cozy witchy bookshop? That sounds perfect to me. We have another adorable, cute looking witchy book called An Ancient Witch's Guide to Modern Dating. I don't know how I stumbled across this book, but I found it recently and it just sounded way too cute not to buy. Meet Thorne Scarheart, a 39-year-old witch who's having trouble landing a husband in the 17th century despite the help of the local matchmaker and an arsenal of love potions. After she lost her mother, Thorne was too caught up in life to focus on dating. Now she fears she may have missed her chance, but then one of Thorne's potion brews backfires spectacularly, and she's hurled more than 300 years into the future, landing in a bustling city where her cottage has turned into a historical museum. I mean, we have time travel, cottage, witchy, a little bit of romance, sprayed edges. This is going to be one of my favorite books that I read this season. I can already feel it. Next we have a book that I really wanted to read last year because I found this kind of on my own. I hadn't really seen anybody talk about it. Morbidly Yours. Abby Jimenez blurbed it herself. She said, "Sweet and spicy and fabulous." Our main character is named Callum, and his family owns like a funeral home, I believe. He's only allowed to inherit his family business though if he marries before a certain age. Our female main character that moves into this town, her name is Lark. She recently, I guess, lost her husband, but she ends up moving in next to the funeral home. So I have a feeling the two of them end up falling in love, but this very much reminds me of The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I don't know if there's any type of magical element to this. I'm hoping that even though this book sounds like it's going to explore grief and kind of have some dark topics, that we are going to get some funny moments between these two. Okay, lastly, I have two quick new releases that have yet to come out. I think they're both coming out very early in September, but the first one is an adult book called If It Makes You Happy, and this cover alone with the gazebo Gilmore Girls, 100%. This I know is set in Vermont, and the main girl's mom actually owns a B&B. So she goes there for comfort after the divorce, and lo and behold, she ends up coming across this single dad. I'm not exactly sure all of the details. That's all I needed to know was small town romance. And last but not least, we have Falling Like Leaves, which is a young adult romance that is supposedly like Gilmore Girls, written by Jenny Han, and there's a second chance romance, and they are prepping for an autumnal festival. That is literally all I need to know about this to be completely sold. This book, and If It Makes You Happy, I'm predicting are going to be like the top fall romances of the season. So these two I will definitely be buying and reading. So I definitely... Okay, just a second. Let's put you all back. Alright, well I definitely have my work cut out for me. This fall season I know is going to be my favorite fall reading season ever. I'm really leaning into the cozy vibes, the autumnal vibes this year. Before you leave this video, definitely let me know like your top book that you're excited for the fall season. What is going to be your #1 fall book that you read or have read, and would you recommend it? I need to know. Honestly, I can always be convinced to add to this huge stack. I know I'm going to be convinced because I'm a huge mood reader, so I know there's going to be other books along the way that I find. I'm going to be sticking to my physical TBR as much as humanly possible this year and taking you guys along with me on the journey. Thank you so much for watching this video. I love you guys so much, and I hope to see you again soon in a new fall video.